of TFNN. Live at TFNN, the Power Trading Hour with your host, David White. Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044. Now, David White.
And welcome all. This is David White at TFNN.com. And that was a moment of silence for decent music. Anybody that has to listen to the lead-in music to this hour, I have to greatly apologize to. I gave a wonderful, great playlist today, and I guess they decided to ignore it. It was much more important to play crappy music all during this lead-in segment. And, of course, what can you expect? We'll go through those other songs. But I have to tell you, it put me in a really horrible mood. I was actually in a fairly decent mood today, and I had to endure that. Some people, they think the Bataan Death March was bad. All they have to do is listen to the music in the lead-in. And I thought maybe I gave them all this wonderful Irish music, and I thought maybe we'd have one day where we wouldn't just molest our listeners by having to listen to one more day of that crappy disco music that no one liked ever, except if you were high on coke. Anyway, I'm going to try to soldier on. I know everybody is probably going to think a great deal of me being able to soldier on after something as obnoxious as that. But we can only hope that maybe they get hit once again on their heads and back in to some music that maybe someone wants to listen to. Anyway, it is a tough day out here for me because, of course, that music. I was already, there's so many great Irish musicians and such a great day to have fun. And I went through, I found about 25 great songs out there today that we could have played. And I feel like it's a day that we've missed. We could have gone on. We could have just had it. We could have had it all, but we had to throw it away. I digress. Anyway, we've got a market that's up most of the time around 17, 18 points on the S&P cash. Volume has been poor. We started off probably the first 30 minutes with about, what can you say, 350 million shares. Very, very, very quiet day. And it is, what can you say? It is a horror. You got 1.7 billion shares at the moment. And it is one of those days where you can look at this market and probably pull something out that you like if you're long, and maybe something if you're short. You certainly like the nice push up and higher on the S&P cash. But boy, I have to tell you, I would be looking for somewhere between 4.5 to 5.5 billion shares on the consolidated New York Stock Exchange tape. And what can you say? Anyway, we're going to look at a few other stocks. They've been pushing a few of these around this morning. And, what is it? I can actually find it. I've got everything just kind of a jumbled mess at the moment. We'll be catching up throughout the show. IBM. I wanted to look at this one. Certainly looked like they were trying to push this back up to about 185 for expiration. Not a lot of volume so far today, but these are a few of the stocks that I really want to be watching out here and seeing how they react as we go through the day. As we start off most days, we like to start it with a little bit of history. And today, in 1938, the governing committee of the New York Stock Exchange meets and agrees unanimously to expel former President Richard Whitney, who's embezzled hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of securities from trust funds under his oversight. And what can you say? 1938. I guess they're taking his chair. A little bit of trading places there. 1997, in preparation, I guess, to really drive the averages up to the new high, they got rid of all the old stocks like the steel stocks and everything else. And in 1977, they put in the new fast-moving, hard-charging companies, Hewlett-Packard, Johnson & Johnson's, Travelers Group, and Walmart in the Dow Jones. And the good thing to always think about is that all these indexes that we have one thing, and that is survivorship bias. They don't include all those stocks that do so well and headed back down. And the question would be, what would those indexes look like if they kept the bad stocks in them as well as the good stocks? And it's always problematic. You can give me a call at 877-927-6648. That's 877-927-6648. And we certainly would appreciate your call on a day like this. Market has been kind of pretty much stuck at these levels for a while. And when we look at the VIX, off about $2 today, it gets up to about that $18 level and really wants to start moving back down, or the market starts hammering it again. You really don't want to see a very high VIX out here. Of course, any kind of higher volatility would cause some selling because of the new Dodd-Frank laws, pretty much saying that you must use a value at risk model. That value at risk is determined by the actual stock, and if it's an under $10 stock, you're probably going to have a far higher volatility than you will on an over $10 stock. You can't hardly get a fund manager to buy one under $10 anymore, if at all. And most of them have amended their charters to say that we will not have a under $10 stock. And of course, more than anything, they want low volatility in their ETF or their fund so that money managers will buy it. And they too can say, hey, I can put in more leverage. And of course, leverage is the end of all markets. It is encouraged until it blows up in everybody's faces, and then everybody wonders why such a small move in the market causes an avalanche down. I had somebody, I don't know if they're asking for me or they just typed in the window, CSIQ. And we'll take a look at that real quick. And a little bounce out of here. But one of the things I don't like when we really look at CSIQ, just slightly lighter volume at the high on February 28th, but certainly the energy down that we saw on the 5th says that this thing is probably setting up ABC down. So maybe you could see $38 back in it. I guess he was putting his own charts in there, not asking for a comment, but we can do that also. And see what else. Anyway, I'm going to start looking at charts a little bit earlier today. Of course, had a very interesting day on Friday. When we look at these higher highs out here, we continue to see stocks making higher highs and finding lower volume. One of the ones I'm watching here today is Charles Rivers Laboratory, CRL. This one's hit a high on the 13th of January, 1.4 million shares. Tried to get back into it again on the 27th, had 900,000 shares. We're up here today with 300,000 shares. That's probably my complaint of anything. You had 1.4 million shares on the 12th, but that was underneath that peak high. Once you got back up above it, volume is once again pulled back out. So a lot of stocks up here at highs on lighter volume. But well, what can you say? Anyway, give me a call, 877-927-6648, 877-927-6648. You can email me at path@tfnn.com. And, of course, you can put a stock in the den if you'd like me to take a look at it. So kind of an interesting day. I have to tell you that I'm probably a little bit behind the ball today as I had to take some allergy medicines, and it has. I had to basically go back to bed this morning, which is not bad, but kind of put a little hitch in my get along about what I'm doing today. When we look at the Eurozone out there, a little bit interesting. DAX was up 1.4%. France's CAC was up 1.3%, and Spain is up 1.7%. A lot of people are saying that it is because of the weak sanctions against Russia, and a lot of people thought maybe we'd actually do something, if anything, to actually stop the naked aggression of the Russians. But apparently we've learned nothing since World War II. And where is Mr. Chamberlain when you need him? But that's at least one part. Of course, gold was off a little bit today, and interesting, probably on the thought that maybe at least we have a chance of not having a shooting war out here. Of course, it's off $11.70 as we speak at $13.67. Kind of the first little kind of real decent off the high move we've had, but I haven't seen the contract volume yet. I'm going to try to get that during the break. And let's see what else we have out here. Yahoo's up a little bit. Of course, we talked a little bit about this, and that is Alibaba is looking to push its IPO out sooner rather than later. They are going to be doing it in the United States. It looks like they came to an agreement of stocks that, agreement for reporting. The Chinese don't like giving the U.S. government any kind of reports about any of their companies. They're very private that way. But when we look at Yahoo, a nice little bounce out of here. And, of course, I don't suspect that this stock's really going to have any weakness until that IPO. They are saying that they're going to keep at least 25% of their shares, so they're going to have a nice one-time payout. What they're going to do with that cash, they haven't really said yet. And what they're going to do and keep that last 25% is interesting, because I have a feeling that Alibaba is looking to push them out of that 25%. And I will be very careful about being long Yahoo and having any information about them selling the rest of those shares. If it is, then as soon as this IPO goes out the door, Yahoo goes back down to 12 or $14. If you got a one-time payout. Maybe they're going to keep all the cash. Hard to say what they're going to do with it, but many things going on out here, and we'll keep an eye on them. Anyway, we're going to break. You can email me at path@tfnn.com. We'll look at your stock, and, of course, welcome your phone calls at 877-927-6648.
TFNN is excited about our new software charting program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts. In collaboration with Tom O'Brien and using his best-selling book, The Art of Timing the Trade, Your Ultimate Trading Mastery System, David White has programmed an outstanding piece of software that will complement any trader's methodology. Using this first-of-its-kind program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts allows you to scan thousands of stocks for Fibonacci formation setups, including Gartley's, ABC's, butterflies, and much more. The Art of Timing the Trade Charts is designed to help you when scouring the markets for stocks just beginning to form the trading patterns that many investors spend days, weeks, or even months searching to find. And right now, we're offering licenses available at only $79 a month. We are so confident that you're going to love this new charting software that will even give you a 30-day unconditional money-back guarantee. Don't miss out on this incredible new piece of software. Get your copy of The Art of Timing the Trade Charts today by visiting TFNN.com.
Wouldn't it be great if you could get a red light, green light indicator that gives you signals on 25 different future contracts? Now you can with Taz Signal Box. This red light, green light market profile system dynamically updates 24 hours a day and provides you with important trend and trade signals on 9 different commodities, 9 different indices, and 8 different currencies. Right now, you can receive a free 2-week trial to Taz Signal Box. For all the details and to find out how the Signal Box works, visit the front page of TFNN.com.
Andy Heck's powerful weekly newsletter, the Technomental Commodity Report, has delivered multiple triple-digit winning trades in recent months. And right now's the perfect time to get a full month-long trial to Andy's newsletter with no obligation to pay anything. Andy publishes his weekly newsletter every Thursday morning, where he breaks down the commodity market and provides his subscribers with specific trading recommendations based on his trading methodology. By signing up for a free trial to the Technomental Commodity Report, you'll get a full 30 days to try out this powerful newsletter service and see for yourself the types of trades Andy has recommended for his subscribers. When you sign up for a 30-day free trial, you're under no obligation to pay anything. And should you decide to continue, you'll lock in the low rate of only $59 a month. Sign up right now for the Technomental Commodity Report and make sure you're ready to catch the next big trade in commodities. For more information and to get started today, visit the front page of TFNN.com.
You've always taken the long view when it comes to investing, but what if there's an opportunity right under your nose? What if you could be more responsive to market trends to seek to boost your portfolio performance right now while seeking to reduce your overall risk? At Direction Funds, we connect investors with alternative strategies that seek to maximize their returns. Smart investors deserve smart alternatives. Find yours at directionfunds.com. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risk charges, and expenses of Direction Funds carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction Funds. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact the Direction Funds at 800-851-0511. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. Investing in index funds may be more volatile than investing in broadly diversified funds. Distributed by Rafferty Capital Markets, LLC.
Many of our new listeners have heard about the Tiger's Den, but wondered, what exactly is it? The Tiger's Den is a lively community where professional traders and investors can meet, exchange ideas and information in a comfortable, moderated atmosphere. Hear all of your favorite TFNN shows, plus see all the charts as they happen live during those shows, and have access to all those charts. You can test drive the Tiger's Den absolutely free for 30 days. It will greatly enrich your knowledge of these markets. Details on the Tiger's Den are on the front page of TFNN.com. Dave takes your phone calls now. Toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044.
And welcome back. I'm going to be looking at a few more stocks here. And I guess if there was any news out here today of importance, it would be the incredibly light volume on this pop. I'm going to update my charts here as we get started. And I got a few other things going on here. Just want to make sure we have it all right. And my sister says hi. I'm just checking the email. Oh, hey, this is interesting. I talked to Andy Heck. What was it, last week? We were talking about meat. And I said, hey, maybe this Chris Leonard guy who authored The Meat Racket would be an interesting guest. And Andy's emailed me here, and he's going to have him on Tuesday, May the 6th. So that'll be interesting. Got a little thing to look forward to. So we'll be watching that. Anyway, we looked at CRL. Let's go to the next stock up here. G3 Apparel Group, another one of these up here with a very, very light volume. And he had about 2.4 million shares. What was that? That was on, that was on the 31st of December. Very interesting. You see that kind of volume come in on the 31st of December. Anyway, 2.4 million shares. When we look at the last 4 or 5 days out here, 144, 236, 148, 400, 122. And so that is going to be interesting. But I guess maybe you can't really say anything more than that kind of light volume. And let's see what else we have. Just wanted to make sure that nothing else is going on. It's kind of a quiet day out there for all the action. In fact, we updated we're up here at 1860 on the S&P cash, 1.8 billion shares. And normally, we start the show off with 2.2, maybe 2.4 billion shares, 1.8, kind of telling us a great deal about what's going on. So we'll continue to watch this. And we're starting to get a little bit of traction late in the day on at least a few of these stocks that they're starting to roll up highs on. But we'll figure it out. Anyway, again, you can give me a call at 877-927-6648 or email me at pat@tfnn.com, and we'll be glad to look at your stock. G3 Apparel Group. We looked at that. NVDQ, Nova DAC Technologies. I don't know a lot about this company. I do know that they had a high volume high on January 31st, another one out here, and 1.5 million shares. Last 2 days, 312,000. And when we look at today, 238,000. So again, another day with very light volume. Sears Holdings, another one. I think I brought this one up earlier last week, but I thought had a chance of turning in to a light volume test and start setting up ABC downs. Of course, we were trying to get into this high back on January 2nd with 1.7 million shares. And you got in, again, not even into the candle, just under the candle, 1.2 million shares. Been kind of bouncing around out here. What I disliked or really am worried about in this is the huge energy down from that January 2nd high back down to the 34.21 low of January 14th. And you look at the energy, especially that day on the 10th of January coming back in. Did come over here on the right side of the chart, tested on February 5th and start moving back up. But what we haven't had is any kind of sign of a strength at all back up off this bottom. And that we got that close and really not doing much today. Again, on light volume, probably sets up another test of that $34 level on Sears Holdings. And let's see what we're going to do about that. Healthcare plans. Now this one, I've been watching today because of the already a light volume test on the 14th on Friday. And this thing came down heavy volume low, and that is at on the February 12th, $55.16, and 3 million shares. So you still have that hanging out there, probably going to get tested. You bounced the first time to February 24th, 1.5 million shares at 63.87. You get back into it Friday with 920,000 shares. Today you're doing 285. So watch out. It's going to be a fast ride, I suspect, in the next few days.
If you're an active trader looking for that extra edge when it comes to trading and investments, then now is a great time to get a 2-week free trial to Tom O'Brien's daily market letter, Market Insights. Tom O'Brien's daily newsletter, Market Insights, comes out every market day at around 9:30 a.m. and provides Tom's daily commentary on the broad market, including the Dow, NASDAQ, and S&P, plus specific trade recommendations. There's even an update published most afternoons to keep you informed about the day's market activity. He'll give you the entry price, price target, and stop price of each stock and option trade. With Market Insights, there's nothing left to guessing. For all the details and to get your 2-week free trial to Market Insights started today, visit TFNN.com.
Has the current market volatility continued to stop you out of trades when the market spikes against you? Now is the perfect time to open up an account with Nadex. Nadex, the North American Derivatives Exchange, is a brand new, completely regulated Chicago-based exchange, and unlike most other exchanges, Nadex allows you to trade directly through them with direct market access when using their completely free trading platform, which also features real-time charts and full customization capability. One of the advantages of trading with Nadex in volatile markets is that your risk is always capped and you have the ability of keeping your trades open even when the market spikes against you. Nadex is completely brand new with a line of unique trading products that are unavailable anywhere else. See how it works at nadex.com. That's NADEX.com. Or click on the Nadex banner on the front page of TFNN.com. Futures and options trading involves risk and may not be appropriate for all investors.
Patterns, profits, and peace of mind.
Are you looking for a precision edge in the market? Something that can stack the odds in your favor? Then look into Larry Pesavento's trading newsletter.
Patterns, profits, and peace of mind.
In each weekly issue, Larry explains what's going to happen in the markets based on the pattern he sees developing and gives you actionable trade ideas based on those patterns. Plus, you'll get his detailed analysis on a variety of markets and sectors, including stocks, treasury bonds, the gold market, oil, the dollar, the Forex market, and more. You'll get access to all the patterns Larry is seeing in the markets, plus the Astro Harmonics and powerful Bradley stock market model that Larry utilizes for less than $5 a day. An extremely potent combination that will give you the edge you've been looking for. Try Patterns, Profits, and Peace of Mind absolutely free for 2 full weeks. That's an $85 value. Yours free when you register right now.
Get Larry's Patterns, Profits, and Peace of Mind.
And get the edge you've been looking for.
No matter where you listen to TFNN programming, we want you to know you can always access your favorite shows on demand through TFNN.com. TFNN airs live programming every market day from 9 a.m. till 6 p.m. Eastern, and you can view each program by accessing Tiger TV through our homepage. We even have an easy link for all mobile devices, including iPhones and iPads, located at the top right-hand corner of the TFNN homepage. You can use your smartphone to view Tiger TV, but if you don't have a mobile connection that can keep up with streaming live video, then you can simply visit TFNN.mobi in the browser of your smartphone for live streaming audio of all of our programs. The mission of TFNN is to educate our audience directly and interactively through our interactive website and radio call and talk shows. TFNN is able to teach all levels of investors the technical skills needed to trade in today's marketplace. In order to get the best information possible, TFNN has assembled the most respected financial minds in the country to provide the most current news and comprehensive advice available. TFNN.com. Educating investors. This segment is brought to you by Harmony Gold. For more information, just click the Harmony Gold banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
And as we come back, it is another wonderful day at the headquarters of Technical Trading and Investing, TFNN.com. Just to check out here and see if we have anything. I think everybody's kind of just trying to figure out what's going on in this market. And, just seeing a gold down as Z and the Den's picking up, saying maybe something else is going on that I just haven't picked up in the news quite yet. And I'm not exactly sure what that is. Very interesting, especially with the dollar index off 10 cents today, that we can get gold headed down. And probably a few more things going on out there. Maybe I just haven't picked up on yet. Just looking out here to see if anything in my list really stands out as a issue of what's going on. But don't really see a whole lot out here. Looks like they pushed this market up, and we continue to see incredibly light volume, 1.86 billion shares. So this is market and volume is just crumbling. I can't bring this up enough. We're going to look at some stocks out here that we brought up last week. But be extremely careful. While no one can predict a hurricane is going to develop and come in and hit a particular city, no one can tell you exactly when a crash is going to happen. I can tell you when the oceans are extremely warm, when the weather patterns exist to bring those storms back up out of the Atlantic and into the Gulf of Mexico and potentially hit some nice city in the Gulf here in the United States. So we know when to be interested in thinking about the chances for huge movements and scary movements in the marketplace. I thought for a great deal of time that we'd probably come down on lighter volume and a gentle pullback, that we can't get a pullback, that we get these bounces one after another on decreasing lighter volume. But today, that we can do less than 2 billion shares, I probably would have bet there was a 98% chance that we at least did 2 billion shares at the start of 2 o'clock, that we can't get 1.9 billion and at 236 right now is very, very scary. Especially we're going to be going into expiration. We do have that Friday, but we do have, of course, the Fed meeting tomorrow and Wednesday. We're going to see even lighter volume, probably starting mid-afternoon tomorrow. And if they can continue pushing this market up on probably, 1 billion shares by the time they come out and talk on Wednesday, if we're doing 1.8 billion today, and that's it. But what can you say? I wanted to look at a few stocks. Of course, we'd seen a few of these things crest last week, none so much as those in the financial sector. So I wanted to see if we had anything going on with American Express today. But certainly the January 17th high was the key for American Express. We brought this up, Tuesday last week. And you had your first move down. It's not uncommon, especially off highs like this, where we have an endless procession of people continuing to say the market's only and can only go higher. But pretty clear signal that that January 17th high with 15 million shares getting tested by 4 million shares was about all you needed to know. Now, you did have a nice sign of weakness. Would have liked to seen a lot more volume on the 13th. But when you get off these highs, especially in options expiration, not uncommon for them to try to keep those stocks up at least through Friday. I think we're seeing a little bit of that. The question I would have is there still enough energy if we get one bad piece of information that this won't all go up in smoke. The other one that we were pointing out last week was Bank of America. Another really good indication that these financials are probably peaked out for some time to come is the high volume day of January 15th in Bank of America at $17.42, 330 million shares. And of course, we got in that with 130 million shares on the 6th. But you had 200 trying to come up to that level on the 5th. The 6th gives you that 138. But that's exactly the way a lot of these hit. They come up there. It says, okay, we're breaking out to new levels. We've gone higher. And is anybody going to applaud? Anybody going to rush in to buy this stock thinking it's going to $20? The answer is no, not on volume and not on price. Now, we had a volume pickup on Friday for Bank of America, but again, not enough. Of course, a little bounce out of here today, but we're up as we speak at 57 million shares, which again gives you an idea of just how weak some of these stocks are and the light volume. Now, what's going to happen is eventually we're going to get that down day and the volume's going to come in. And at that point, most of the time, the longs in those stocks on light volume are cooked. Coach is a rather interesting stock. Of course, they came out, had bad earnings. That was back on the 22nd of January, finding out that almost everything that they have is being taken by Michael Kors. And when I look at this stock and see that high volume down day, went all the way down to 44.31 on February 5th. But we are back up into that gap area. And this is where, if you were lucky, maybe you get 51 out of this thing. Maybe you close this gap halfway. But you're looking at that gap being challenged by what? Gap had 23.5 million shares. And as we go over the last 4 or 5 days, the volume, 3.6 million, 2.5 million, 5 million, 6 million. But today, trying to push a little higher up into that gap, we've got 2.1 million shares so far. Yeah, I'm thinking that there's something going on. I don't know if Russia's going to totally invade Ukraine, if the Fed is going to decide that they're going to even accelerate their taper. But there's a bunch of stuff that just doesn't make sense going on right now, and I imagine it'll probably make sense, or more sense probably, by the close on Wednesday. And Domino's sent me a nice mail saying I can have some green pizza. Just wanted to check anything else going on out here to see if that has it. Okay. We're going to look at a couple others while we're looking at it. P10, Cena. Let's see. It's Verizon. Yeah, VRSN. Wanted to talk about that one today. Verizon, National Telecommunications and Information Administration, announced its intent to transition key functions to the global multi-stakeholder community. VeriSign said that this will no way affect the company's operation of the .com, but certainly this blows out the lows in VeriSign. Of course, they are one of the registrars and key registrars here in the United States. If you missed the article after the close and evening, they buried it in Friday's news. The Obama administration had decided to go ahead and give up the control of the Internet to an international body. It is now run by a consortium called ICANN, which is basically driven by the United States. Some thought are, and I can see the argument, that especially with what the NSA has been doing, that it would be problematic for the USA to have total control of the Internet. But now the thought is, especially a great deal of thought, is what's going to happen to companies and just being able to have Sears.com or have anything else like that, something that has your name on it. Now, this is still back in the trading range, but blew out to 48.55 this morning. Now, the question is that a bad tick? I don't think it is. I think I was watching, and I think it at least came close enough to that to come back in. But that means that 48.55 is out there for testing, and especially with the way that U.S. companies are being looked at suspiciously, might have a bigger problem out here in the near future. But just a thought. See if there's anything else out here. Please update us on Bitcoin encryption advances. Thanks. I don't know if there are any. There's certainly several people trying to come up with new Bitcoin-like news. All I know is that there was a giant weakness in all the Bitcoin exchanges that software would vulnerability allowed people to steal somewhere around $40 million worth of Bitcoins from various exchanges. And I don't know what else you have to know about it other than that, that the FBI is not chasing these people down that stole this supposed cash. They're not even sure that the laws would apply to it. And they're actually more interested in people in the Bitcoin community like Mt. Gox that knew weeks. Yeah, maybe the NSA did steal it. Who knows? But the interesting part I see is that the feds are actually after the people that had these exchanges because they knew for weeks that they were insolvent and continued to take trades and not really sure where all that money is. And the question is, even if they do find out and say that they were doing it, does it have to, since it was in Japan, do the laws of Japan have to apply? Since it wasn't actual cash, does it apply at all? it's going to be a very, very murky legal situation because it is not considered a currency by the government. And, of course, I don't think so. I have a feeling that just some very sharp guys in the hacker community figured out really quick that if you fired off 2 orders exactly at the same time, that both of them would go through. And that's all you really needed for a weakness or a vulnerability in the software. And this apparently worked off of many of the exchanges that were out there. Mt. Gox was not the only one that went down. So there is continuing problems with people, but looks like 40, the last figure I saw was somewhere on the neighborhood of about $40 million. And it is interesting. We're going to look at some other stocks out here of interest. EMC, I've been watching this one try to press against the previous highs. It had a kind of a flag out here on, what is that, the 13th, where it tried to break through the high of July 24th at $27.34. And 42 million shares that day. We're back into it today with 12 million shares. This is what is making me so nervous about the general market out here, even though we are starting to move slightly higher. And let's see, what else do we have? EW. I haven't taken a look at this one yet. Edwards Life Sciences. This one I kind of like because it gapped down with heavy volume. It's been trying to come back into this gap. Not seeing a whole lot more other than what we've seen before here, though. But nice ABC up off the December 13th lows, but right back into these gaps of the October 28th level. That came down on 3.9 million shares. You tried to test it on January 15th. 2.7 million shares tried to test it on March 6th. This thing didn't, kind of went down on the 13th, trying to pop back up a little bit. But I suspect we're going to see a lot of these stocks start tailing off over the next couple of days. The question is, with very light volume over the next 2 days, is it going to be possible to see huge swings in this market on light volume? And the answer, I suspect, is yes. So let me update what we have out here as we go along. Let's see. And we have somebody wanting to interrupt the current show right now, and that is Diablo. Apparently, Diablo, you want to come here? You got out. Little Diablo is my trading dog, who's now 2.5 years old. You want to come up here with Daddy? No? Well, go back in your room then. So what else do we have moving along here? Yeah, you keep sneaking around. What are you doing back there? Come here. Okay. Well, anyway, wanted to I can see him. Come on. Yeah, anyway. He just wants to bother me during the show here today. I guess I didn't get the door closed. Anyway, we're going to break. I'm going to get hold of Diablo, and I'll show him to you here at the start of the next show, the next segment. Anyway, be back in just a minute.
Martin coined the phrase diagnostic trading, and we're happy to announce that his diagnostic box spread analyzer has finally been released. The Diagnostic Box Spread Analyzer helps you easily identify the best box spreads on Nadex in seconds, plus you receive access to the diagnostic deviation levels, as well as step-by-step training videos teaching you how to trade Nadex spreads so you can quickly master the mechanics of this simple yet powerful trading instrument. By pulling live data from the Nadex exchange, the Diagnostic Box Spread Analyzer does all the math for you, calculating risk, reward potential, distance to break even for both outright spreads and spreads used to hedge the underlying market. Visit the front page of TFNN.com today to get your 2-week free trial to Daryl Martin's Diagnostic Box Spread Analyzer and gain access to the valuable information it can provide when trading the Nadex box spreads.
Tom O'Brien's weekly gold letter, The Gold Report, gives complete and concise coverage of the entire gold market. Inside, you'll get Tom's commentary on gold, the dollar, the rand, the bond, the XAU, the HUI, and detailed coverage of nearly 25 mining stocks. He'll give you the entry price, price target, and stop price of each stock trade. The Gold Report is a long-term newsletter where the focus is on building real wealth through the management of a successful portfolio of gold stocks. With a lifetime of knowledge and almost 12 years of writing his informative weekly newsletter, The Gold Report, Tom O'Brien can provide you with the important market information to help you make better trades in the gold market. Don't let the next bull run in gold pass you by. To get a month-long free trial to The Gold Report, an $85 value, visit the front page of TFNN.com today.
David White's newsletter, The Technology Insider, is focused like a laser on finding the next big things in technology. If you had invested only $10,000 in Microsoft in 1986, you'd have been a millionaire by 2000. Disruptive technology like Microsoft's is the key to these massive long-term profits, and the Tech Insider is the vehicle from TFNN to capitalize on these opportunities. This is the go-to newsletter that identifies, monitors, and profits on mostly little-known cutting-edge companies with great long-term prospects. David's experience is as an inventor of Emmy-winning animation products for TV and Hollywood that propelled a company public. Match that with 14 years as a full-time trader, and he's uniquely qualified to guide you through the light-speed world of ever-evolving high-tech. If you're ready to ride the next big technology bull market for less than $40 per month, log on to TFNN.com and get your 2-week free trial to the Technology Insider. Get in on the ground floor of the next big thing today.
We're told to follow our passion and everything else will fall into place. I hope that's what each of you are doing each and every day. Hi, I'm Steve Rhodes, host of the Money Master Show at TFNN.com, and my passion for technical analysis is what led me to the most fundamental discovery in pattern recognition, the Rhodes Momentum Indicator, market scanner, and trading strategy, a set of tools that identify the momentum and power of the trend, the likes of which have never been seen before, for every market and every time frame. Yes, folks, the trend is your friend, unless you're on the other side. New to technical analysis? This is the place to start. And experienced traders, take advantage of the trend like never before. Experience the power of the Rhodes Momentum Indicator each day, available to subscribers of my newsletter service, Mastering Probability. I guarantee your satisfaction for the next 30 days, unconditionally, so there's no risk to you, other than being on the wrong side of the trend. Mastering Probability, available on the homepage of TFNN.com. And folks, live with passion.
This segment is brought to you by TFNN. Test drive all the newsletters for free at TFNN.com.
Ah, there it is. A little bit of Irish music. A little bit of an Irish dirge on this beautiful day. It's rainy in Tampa. How can you have a day like that that's at Tampa? Anyway, we had multiple requests in the den, and by multiple I mean one, to take a look at El Diablo, the trading dog, the real brains behind the operation here. And if you are watching on Tiger TV, you will find El Diablo up here, and he is very sensitive to that El Diablo. But he certainly is having a good time today. I don't know how he got out, but he's pretty good at opening doors. But we had a little fight earlier with him and his sister who were fighting over a bone. As they say, don't get in between a dog and his bone. And but he's now wandering around the studio causing problems. But nice and quiet. And he says, Daddy, just give me some more milk bones because that's all I want. But we'll take a look at it. Well, your moment in the Limelight is over here. El Diablo will put you back down. Okay. And as we come back, we're going to look at a few last stocks out here. And I wanted to look at VLO. We were looking at this thing, and you had volume, one of the few stocks that had volumes as it was breaking out, and you had 13 million shares. Now, the question is why this thing has just absolutely no follow-through. Of course, we're seeing prices on crude lower off another 83 cents today. But normally when you get good 30% higher volume, as VLO did have on the 12th, this thing should at least take off for a little while and then pull back. This lasted all of about a day. And while we're just a little higher out here and try a little bit more, certainly another stock out here with a very light volume. You have to be very interested in this one. And if it closes below 53.64, it may not matter that this company is making more money with its crack spread, but certainly at least some of these stocks are able to hold at higher levels. HCBK, Hudson Bank Corp, a lot of these smaller regional banks certainly also hitting highs on very light volume. I probably had 10 of these regional banks. Unfortunately, all their stocks are about $10. I don't like to short stocks that are $10, but most of them have been tested. In this case, Hudson City Bank Corp, this thing had 10 million shares as it ran into highs in July 19th. Now we basically tested this one on March the 7th. We did a penny over, closed below it, so you had your valid sell signal. And even today, having a hard time catching a bid going higher with the S&P cash up 20 more points. Let's see if there was anything else. AIZ, Assurant. This one was pretty clear also. I think, did we have this? I think I had it on my list for the webinar. But certainly these are just too easy right now with a slight volume. But on Assurant, we had the January 8th high, $68.95, 1.7 million shares. Got into it with 1 million shares. Actually, 1 million shares on the 11th, and these things have rolled back over. So not so much about how the energy on the way up came into a lot of these, but just that we've gotten to highs on lighter volume, that we've seen that move today, and want to make sure that you guys know exactly what we have for volume before we leave the show today. But keep an eye on this. Well, we still haven't even cracked 2 billion shares on the S&P, or on the NYSE consolidated tape. I may even have to bring down my projection for how much volume there is today, even lower. Anyway, have a great and wonderful St. Patty's Day. We'll see you tomorrow, same bat channel, same bat time.
Since 1984, Basil Chapman has been using the Chapman Wave methodology to advise traders of his expert market opinion. While originally hand-drawing charts from the late 1970s into the 1980s, Basil noticed that prices under most circumstances virtually always had a certain number of legs to the upside before declining sharply. Later, Basil found that computer software, which included the standard market technical indicators, enhanced the degree of accuracy in calling price turns, as well as market trend calls. Thus was born the Chapman Wave sequence. Using the Chapman Wave methodology along with other indicators, Basil Chapman advises his subscribers of his expert market opinion each market day with his opening call newsletter. Right now, you can get a 2-week free trial to the opening call, Basil's daily trading newsletter, by visiting the front page of TFNN.com. Cancel at any time during that trial and pay absolutely nothing. Get your 2-week free trial to Basil's newsletter, The Opening Call, today by visiting TFNN.com.